Good day, everybody. Welcome. We're going to get started here. We've got some breaking news. The information was leaked, apparently, so take that with a grain of salt, but we'll cover those details here in just a second. Just going to have a drink of water, and we'll get things kicked off. Hope everyone's doing well. All right, let us know where you're tuning in from, everybody. It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It is Thursday. It's Executive Order Day. Widely anticipated that we're going to see an executive order pertaining to MJ, and I posted about it last night. MJ Moment basically reported on it, saying that it was going to be at 1:30 today, and then we actually have the confirmation from the schedule, and everything looks to be lining up that way. So the details were just leaked. We'll take a look at that, but as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Before we get started, if you could be so kind to smash the like, helps get this video to as many people as possible. So if you want to spread the MJ gospel, so to speak, then that will help do so. And if you subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future content. And you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. So this is the article that just came out. Trump's MJ executive order details leaked ahead of announcement, including CBD and hemp provisions, as expected. But it said that there wasn't any mentioning. So here it is. Here are the details about Trump's executive order on MJ. Direct the Attorney General to expedite the completion of the process of rescheduling to MJ to Schedule 3. So maybe that's what's sending. Well, obviously a Sell the News event. We've known about this for like a week now. So they've been pumping the ever-loving hell out of it, and now it's a little bit of a sell the news. But keep in mind, folks, this is the pregame warm-up, right? This isn't the ninth inning, and we're ending the game here, right? This is the pregame warm-ups, and we're just about to start the game, right? The game's just getting interesting. So once we get rescheduling, then we start to see major reform, right? This is just the first domino to fall. But I think also the fact that it says expedite the completion, so he's not saying, I hereby declare rescheduling official, right? He's telling the agencies to work to expedite that. So again, and then there's going to be, probably a month or so before it actually gets, fully official. And then, there could be lawsuits and things like that. So it's going to be a bumpy road. If everybody thought we were just going to go to the moon today and, everything, it doesn't work that way. Investing doesn't work that way. Unless you're a trader, which, that's completely different. But, why the hell would you want to trade right now when we were down 99% on some of these names and you're just seeing the first bit of reform? So direct the White House staff to work with Congress to give patients access to full spectrum CBD products. So obviously CBD is a big one there, and they talk about more CBD stuff. So they said that they didn't include anything. While there has been reports that Trump's order would include a directive to Congress to advance MJ banking reform bill and possible clemency action, those two details were not mentioned in the media briefing, but the order itself hasn't been released yet, so it remains to be seen if those will be worked into the action. So again, I said this in my video yesterday, if we only get rescheduling and the CBD provisions, then it might be a sell the news, because they've been pumping the ever-loving hell out of it for the last week or so. So if we get exactly what is expected, then it might be a sell the news event, and we're already seeing that now. But if they do come out and they say language about safer banking, if they say something about uplisting as well, that could be huge. That would catch a lot of people off guard, and that could end up turning it into a buy the news. But we'll see what happens. The fact that it's selling off now, if they do include any language about banking or uplisting, that would be huge. But here was the article from yesterday. Came out late yesterday. White House confirms Trump will address MJ rescheduling Thursday, but reported details on final decision are speculation, right? So they said, all these things that we've been hearing that are going to be included, they did not say anything on what that would be. So sources familiar with the administration's planning tell MJ Moment that an announcement on the rescheduling move is planned for 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that Trump will be surrounded by various MJ industry and movement stakeholders when signing the order. So we'll see if Mike Tyson's there. But as you can see, President's public schedule. So 1:30, that matches up. So if you weren't 100% sure, well, that's pretty cut and dry right there, right? 1:30 p.m. And right here, 1:30 p.m., the president signs an executive order. And CNN also said that that it was going to be on Thursday. Makes a lot of sense. You got the president participating in Christmas reception after, so get it done. Like I said, they're not going to want to hold this through the holidays. You're really going to piss people off. That's probably not a good look, and his numbers were sliding a little bit. They were up after this. So, get it done before the holidays. Probably don't want to wait till a Friday, and you already got all this Christmas reception, all this stuff going on, and then also getting it done before the 31st, before the end of the year, right? Because it's a new tax season. So pretty much, I was saying 80-90% chance it happens today, and it's looking like it's like 99.99% chance now. And we just got the leak. So bit of a weird rollout. I don't get it. If you were trying to be secret about it, why the hell is everybody and their dog reporting on it? It just doesn't make any sense. You might as well just told us long ago. It's pretty stupid. Can't stand anything government related, to be honest. It's bass average. Nothing makes any sense nowadays. But we'll see what happens. Let's go to the White House here. So still nothing. Just checking in on the chat here. It's getting pretty crazy. Rob, you're from PEI? What? No way. Same here. Let's see. Why is everything sold? If you lose everything, you don't have your shot together. I'm just shorting the stock, so okay. Good luck. Hope not good. Just going through. There's a lot of comments going on here. 401 viewers. Wow. Damn. That's a lot. Let's see here. All your videos said we were going up 100%. What? We did go up. Stock, did you not see today? CGC was really busting. From the low of yesterday to the high of the day, CGC was up 26%. But now we're seeing a little bit of a sell the news. So TLRY, that one was at $16 almost today, $15.70. So that's up. That's very much up. That's 50% in just a few days. And off the low, it's now up 127%. So yeah, it's up over 100%. I will be making lots of money. Damn YouTubers. Damn viewers. I don't know what you're talking about. I said it was going to be today. It's today. I said, probably going to be a sell the news unless we get any other verbiage. And there was nothing about banking or in there. So, again, people just read the thumbnail and they think they know everything, and they watch 5 minutes of the video and then they think they understand everything. But yeah, nobody knows, and that's what I've been saying for a while now. Nobody has a crystal ball. At the end of the day, if you're a trader, this isn't the place for you, right? You can just leave. Because I'm not selling any shares, even if rescheduling gets happened and safer banking's in there and they say that it's a miracle cure for every disease on the planet. Do you think I'm going to sell today? No. I'm not a trader, right? And when it comes to MJ, I'm going to buy blood in the streets and I'm going to hold until I'm enticed to sell and until my sell targets get hit. So, again, if you're looking for a trader, channel, or this isn't we do some trading, but this certainly won't be doing MJ trading. Why the hell would I want to time the market? I'd rather time in the market right now when things are down 80-90% ahead of the biggest reform that we've ever seen in our lifetime. So why the hell would I want to trade today? It makes absolutely no sense. All right. Refreshing here. It's one of those F5 moments. If anybody sees anything come up, let me know. Here from Edmonton, nice. I can't keep up with this chat, folks. It's pretty crazy at the moment. Pal Group said he had 2K invested. I never said any of that. If I had 2K invested, yeah, no. You got India in the house. Rod, how would this EO verbiage help? How is this different from any other press conference or some other announcement? Got Atlanta here. I don't really know what you mean. The language would be if they include something that wasn't in there, right? Here. So it said something about the Right here. While there's been reports that Trump's order would include a directive to Congress to advance MJ banking reform bill and possible clemency action, those two details were not mentioned in the media briefing, but the order itself hasn't been released yet, so it remains to be seen if those will be into the action. So, again, if it's widely believed that all of this stuff that was going to happen is happening, well, that increases the odds of a sell the news. But that's just temporary, right? That's the traders and everything getting out, right, who are looking to time the market. I'm not looking to time the market. I'm time in the market. When you're down 90, 80, 90 plus % from all-time highs or 52-week highs, why the hell would we want to time the market? I'm not here to make taco gains, right? I'm not here to make a couple $100 a day. I don't need a $200 or even $2,000 a day at this point. I'm here for generational wealth. If you're a trader, that's fine, right? I don't want to be a slave to the computer. I don't need any more money. I don't need to, worry about how I'm going to get my next dollar, my next $20, $30, or $3,000, right? I don't care. I'm here for life-changing wealth. I want to change my family and my family's family and my future family for lives for generations to come. And I'm not here for taco gains, right? It's the same thing with crypto. I'm not here. I bought XRP at 20 cents. I've got more money in XRP than my whole entire MJ portfolio and the rest of my crypto portfolio combined. It's bigger than everything combined. And I'm still holding after 20 cents. It hit almost $4. Didn't hit my sell target though, right? So, but again, my situation is different than everybody else. So, okay, anybody got a link? This is a person in all caps. I'm making so much money shorting. Yeah, he's not making any money. They're not. Someone making money short isn't going all caps on a chat on a chat saying they're making money. You're probably not even shorting. We got a super chat. Could MSOS create a dividend for shareholders? Thank you, Mr. BS2. Boris Jordan said himself, if it wasn't for 280E, they'd probably already be doing. They'd already have a. Sorry, just one sec. A dividend. Anybody seeing any links though? I assumed it would be on the White House here. Let's see if we can find it. Just reaching out. And just remember, folks, like if you're swinging this, if you're swinging a position into this and you're going to sell or take profit after this, like you're gambling. You're 110% gambling, right? You might as well go to the casino and throw it on black or red because nobody knows, right, what's going to happen. All I know is this is nothing in the grand scheme of things. This is just the first domino to fall, and then the real show begins, right? And it's going to take a couple of years, right? Even for rescheduling, like I said, if it gets rescheduled, it has to go through like probably a month-long process, and then there's going to be lawsuits, and then has to get enacted, and then it's going to take a couple of quarters for it to show up on these companies' balance sheets without the 280E there. So it's going to be a long-lasting effect, right? We need to get away from this instant gratification mindset. But if you're a trader, that's fine, right? But you're going to drive yourself crazy if it's like swinging through an earnings report. Nobody knows, and anybody who tells you any different, they have no clue. Even this here, the leak was saying that it's widely believed it's going to be this, but there's other things that could be in it as well. But I'm not seeing any link. And you know how they usually do it. They're usually super late all the time, so. Bro, you're so emotional. Bro, you're so fucking stupid. Like, what are you talking about? Man, people are hilarious. Stop being so defensive. I love how people tell me what to do. They come on my show and they tell me what to do. It's so funny. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. You guys are just terrible people. These people in the chat. You should be ashamed of yourself, honestly. But that's fine. The world has to be filled with morons and assholes. Someone's going to be an asshole, right? There's some of them in this chat. But don't worry, we're going to ban them here real quick. Okay, where's asshole number 1? Here we go. Asshole number 1 banned. Okay, see folks trying to find the link, but got to deal with the assholes first, because you know what? The world's full of them. All right, asshole number 1 gone. Any more assholes? We can easily ban you. It's no problem at all. So let me do a quick asshole skim here. Not seeing any. Link here at the moment. Smash like, I appreciate it. There we go. We got some nice people in the house. Thank you very much. Asshole number 2 banned. Sweet. Do we got any more assholes? Where are we at? Yeah, it says close, but I've seen that before where it says close press, but it still ends up being live. Dude, ban this. Oh, yeah, where is he? AMF. Okay, yeah. Like, what an... you come on here, everybody's excited about rescheduling, and you're like, oh, I'm shorting. Like, go fly a kite. You're an ass. Like, my God. Karma's going to get you, my friend. You're not going to do well in life if you're like that. Like, geez. Yeah, no, don't worry there, Phil. He's banned. Like, just the egotistical nonsense and stupidity, like these people. Yeah, thanks for coming live today. Yeah, that's better. Some appreciation and respect instead of people telling me what to do or what not to do and being just absolute disrespectful a-holes. Rod, you're the real deal. Thank you. Anyway, if you're in the chat there, Jem, if you can trade these assholes, or sorry, ban these assholes, because yeah. Anytime I do like a normal video, there's barely anybody who's assholes on here. But anytime you deal with like any kind of big event like this and prices going down, oh, the assholes, they come out of the woodworks. Do they ever? But yeah, so it says closed press, but I've seen that before where it said closed pressed, and it actually, they did go live. Anybody seeing any links? I can't even. You're awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, this chat's absolute haywire at the moment here. I can't even I can't even keep track. A-holes are lucky that I'm busy right now, but I'll keep an eye. Thanks, Jam. Doesn't close press mean no live? Yeah, I've seen that before though, and they still did it in executive order live. I was thinking that as well, but let's see. I'm not seeing any. Yeah, it might not be live. Either way, we'll see how things react here. I'm not seeing any news. They're usually late too, so who knows? Might not even start for another 10 or 20 minutes. Let's just see what's going on. So yeah, daily consolidation starting, losing the low of yesterday on TLRY, MSOS, big time daily consolidation, but let's get rid of some of those. Looks like a daily bull flag. Yeah, as long as we hold 542, still just fine. And 1090. Be the target. But again, like that's not going to happen. It doesn't have to happen today, right? This could happen over the next few days into next week. SPY was a little weak today as well, so CPI came in better than expected. But yeah, SPY did drop quite a bit yesterday, recovering today. I mentioned we had to hold 670, and then that maintains the weekly bull flag, or sorry, the daily bull flag. So as long as we maintain that momentum in the broader market, yeah, we're bouncing right where we need to essentially. Made a low of 671. Actually, I don't think I'm on log scale. What's going on here? thought it was 670. Oh, yeah, I see what I did. Right there. Got the high wrong. So you're looking at 704, I think it was. Yeah, about 704 on SPY. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Anybody else seeing anything? Yeah. See how she goes. Okay, give me 1 sec, folks. I'll see if I can find it. All right, yeah. So I think it's live. I think it's going to be live. I think it's just it's always late usually. I think yesterday the address to the nation was actually pretty timely. But if anybody has any, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be on this website here. But oh, sorry, I didn't share my screen again. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's this. Oh, whoops, clicked the wrong one. Pretty sure it's this. Damn it, did it again. Live news right here. So I'm pretty sure it's right here on the White House. So we just have to wait and see here. Could just be a case of them taking forever, which totally wouldn't surprise me at all. Also, yeah, there was the news about the fentanyl, really cracking down on that. So overall, a good thing, right? And even J.D. Vance was saying, you know, it's basically you're seeing all kinds of traces of fentanyl in MJ and all the more reason to legalize it, essentially. All right. Refresh. Fox is live. You got a link? See if we can find it here. Fox Live. Oh, docs. Fox Live. Let's see what's going on here. We'll be right back. I don't see anything in here talking about anything MJ related. Yeah, I don't know if you can even share a link in the chat. Sometimes, yes, if you don't know why we drop, go MJ moment, read the article, just came out. Yep. Yeah, this is why I hate doing these live streams for an announcement, because it always takes so long. And it wouldn't be too bad as long as if there was a, like, you know, an actual stream saying we are live, but we'll, you know, it's just stay tuned. We'll be live again shortly. But it's been saying that all day, and like it didn't actually turn to like a video format. So if they'd actually switch to a video format, that'd be pretty cool. But no. YouTube White House live. Yeah, this is it. This is where it would be. It's the White House. So whitehouse.gov/live. Yeah, so the address to the nation was pretty much right on time. But But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be on this website here. Free the Reaper. On now. Trump is talking. Let's... Oh, there we go.
I can't tell you, I think I probably have received more phone calls on this, on doing what we're doing. I don't think I received any calls on the other side of it, but hopefully this reclassification, which by the way polls at 82%, will help many of those patients live a far better life. We're joined today by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's doing a fantastic job, Administrator of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, the FDA Commissioner, Dr. Marty McCary, Director of the National Institutes of Health, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, and the Director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, Dr. Nora Valkow, as well as Dr. Ilana Braun from the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Duke University's Dr. David Casseret, the National Commander of the American Legion, Dan Wiley, and my friend Howard Kessler. Howard, how are you feeling? I'm telling you, he looks better than he did 20 years ago. But I don't want to go through what you went through to get there, right? But it looks like you're doing great. I'm proud of you. I want to emphasize that the order I am about to sign is not the legalization, or it doesn't legalize marijuana in any way, shape, or form, and in no way sanctions its use as a recreational drug. It has nothing to do with that. Just as the prescription painkillers may have legitimate uses, but can also do irreversible damage and never, if you look at some of the damage that can be caused, wreck lives, and if it's abused, it's never safe to use powerful controlled substances in recreational manners, and especially in this case, if you take a look, illegal and unregulated drugs, very, very bad thing. So I've always told my children, don't take drugs, no drinking, no smoking, and just stay away from drugs. I have been, they would look at me and they said, Dad, would you stop saying that? I would say it every time I looked at it practically. Young Americans are especially at risk, so unless a drug is recommended by a doctor for medical reasons, just don't do it. At the same time, the facts compel the federal government to recognize that marijuana can be legitimate in terms of medical applications when carefully administered. In some cases, this may include the use as a substitute for addictive and potentially lethal opioid painkillers, and they cause tremendous problems. This can do it in a much lesser way, can make people feel much better that are living through tremendous pain and problems. 40 states and multiple U.S. territories have already recognized the use of medical marijuana. This reclassification order will make it far easier to conduct marijuana-related medical research, allowing us to study benefits, potential dangers, and future treatments. It's going to have a tremendously positive impact, I believe. We're also asking Congress to reconsider its classification of hemp-derived CBD to ensure seniors can access CBD products they have found beneficial for pain and other reasons. Some people are literally dying, and they're dying with tremendous pain, and this can, in many cases, literally stop it. And they have their senses about them, as opposed to painkillers, which don't allow that, don't allow them to die with dignity, frankly. I promise to be the president of common sense, and that is exactly what we're doing. This is really something having to do with common sense, and it's something having to do with the fact that so many people that I respect ask me to do. People that are having problems, big problems. They are having big problems with illness, with cancer in particular. I now want to ask Dr. Oz to say a few words, followed by Dr. Braun, Dr. Casseret, Dan Wiley, and Dr. Valkow. and we'll sign the order as soon as they're complete, and we'll take some questions. Please, go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you for always bravely pushing for common sense change, as you call it. So President Trump, Secretary Kennedy have been pushing for change. They're passionate in their desire to help the American people, and they have relentlessly pursued this agenda throughout this administration. This also includes a deep passion for research, gold standard research, as Secretary Kennedy also says. But there's another side to the president that often isn't reflected in media reports, and that's the deep passion he has for the people in his life. And he has called me frequently about the people who are calling him, as he alluded to, who are saying that they've got problems and they got relief from some of the solutions we're talking about today. Howard Kessler, who's standing behind me here, who's a mutual friend of ours, was an early caller of the president. Many others have ever reached out as well. And Howard's been a passionate advocate for avoiding narcotics, especially in seniors, and particularly seniors suffering from cancer. And that's a population that is a very important one. And it's a sympathetic population that's desirous of trying new ways besides some of the conventional approaches that have been tested by pharmaceutical companies but have untoward side effects. At the beginning of the year, one of the first things the president told me, he doesn't actually tell you, he demanded from me, that my agency, CMS...
Nobody demands from him.
No.
Nobody. You have to know him.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Use all tools at his wherewithal to find a better way to help seniors. A passion for a population that has gotten left behind with these discussions. I promised that we would find an answer, even though it had not been done before. And today we are delivering on that promise. Today, our Innovation Center at CMS is announcing a new model and additional actions to give seniors access to cannabinoids. These are CBDs. They're non-addictive, which many are already using to manage pain. There's some clinical evidence that's showing that CBDs provide relief from common conditions that affect Americans, including cancer symptoms and chronic pain and a slew of other problems that affect disproportionately seniors and our veterans. And 6 in 10 people who use the CBDs report that they improve their pain. I think all of those people are calling the president, judged on the number of calls in support of what we're doing today. And sometimes these decisions are difficult, and there's a reason this hasn't happened before. And there's a reason, Mr. President, that every president before you has whiffed on this issue. It's tough. And I know there's going to be a lot of discussion about it. That's why we're so passionate about making it clear that this patchwork that we're working within now, the laws and regulations, they're leaving patients and doctors without adequate guidance on the safeguards of how to use these products, even though they're still being used. At Medicare, we cover 68 million Americans, including people under the age of 65. And they did not have a way of providing these treatments until today. With the president's insistence, that's all changes. The Innovation Center models are going to allow millions of Americans on Medicare to become eligible to receive CBD as early as April of next year, and at no charge, if their doctors recommend them. Thanks to the hard work of the entire CMS team, especially Abe Sutton and Gita Dio at the Innovation Center, the accountable care organizations in this country working in Medicare will be able to provide these products, again, at no cost to patients. Medicare Advantage insurers, and we've been calling them, are also agreeing to consider CBD to be used for the 34 million Americans that they cover. If you can hear my voice and you're over 65, you should pay attention to this executive order because it's going to touch your life. Again, this all becomes active after the first quarter of next year. These CBD products must first meet local and state quality and safety standards. They must come from legitimate sources. They must abide by other regulations of those states. With these boxes checked, patients can be eligible for up to $500 of hemp-derived products each year. This is the first government-led testing of quality and outcomes for patients across different conditions, and it delivers on the need for more data collection and research into hemp usage. CMS is going to collect data, that's our job, on the patients that are being given these products by their physicians. And in accordance with all the privacy and security regulations, we're going to analyze that data. We're going to make it publicly available to everybody to be able to analyze with us. If it shows promise, we will expand access to these products to even more conditions amongst Medicare and Medicaid beneficiaries. I want to thank not just the Secretary, but Marty McCary. We want a lot of companies who are doing this research that approach the FDA for formal approval. That is the right way to move forward. And Jay Bhattacharya, who's hiding in the back, he rarely hides, but Jay runs NIH, and he's agreed to support initiatives to study the data that we're collecting. Howard Kester, God bless you for being a pain in our sides. Mr. President, he's promised to stop calling you. But on this issue, he'll call you on other issues. And I thank you again from the bottom of my heart for taking a difficult stance.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Gotta love the
Mr.
CBDs.
President, members of the cabinet, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and for your leadership in rescheduling cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. This decision will accelerate scientific research and expand what can responsibly be studied. I'm a cancer psychiatrist and medical cannabis researcher at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Over the past decade, federal investment in research has helped transform cancer care. People are living longer than ever before. But cancer care is not only about treating the tumor, it's also about addressing the anxiety, the fear, the stress that can come with a diagnosis, symptoms that can interfere with treatment and make recovery much more difficult. Many medications we use for acute anxiety carry significant risks, particularly in the older adults. That's why we're studying specific natural compounds found in cannabis, including the non-addictive cannabidiol, to understand whether they can safely and effectively help manage anxiety during cancer treatment.
Non-addictive.
Rescheduling allows us to ask these questions rigorously about dosing, about safety, and who may benefit most. This research reflects the best of federal investment, helping people not only live longer, but live better. Thank you, Mr. President, for supporting careful, science-based research that puts patients first.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. That's beautiful. Thank you.
I'll add my vote of thanks, Mr. President. I never really thought this day would come. I met a patient about 20 years ago, a retired professor named Elizabeth, who came to my clinic. She was dying of pancreatic cancer, and she asked me then whether cannabis might help her. And I said no, because that's what I learned in medical school. She reached into her briefcase, took out a 3-inch tall stack of articles, put them down on my desk, and said, "Really, doctor? You should read these. You might learn something." And I did read those articles, every single one, and found a bunch more. And I did learn something. I learned that there actually is some medical benefit to cannabis that I had not anticipated, never heard about in medical school. Second, I learned that there's a lot we don't know.
Can't even take
And
this
third,
guy
I learned
seriously.
It's really, really, really difficult to do high-quality randomized controlled trials of a substance that's federally illegal. This rescheduling has the potential to change all of that and to rewrite the way that we do research related to cannabis in the United States in 3 ways. First of all, it'll democratize the research process so that all academic institutions can participate in research, not just elite academic medical centers. Number 2, it'll give patients and researchers access to highly refined, reliable sources of cannabis rather than relying on 1 or 2 sources around the country. And last but not least, it'll let us do the sorts of large-scale randomized controlled trials that we do in oncology and cardiology. Not dozens of patients, but hundreds or thousands of patients. That's how we learn. That's how we produce valuable knowledge that's useful in guiding treatment decisions. Mr. President, without you, this never would have been possible. And my patients and I and all of our families are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, very much. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I am Dan Wiley, National Commander of the American Legion, representing 1.5 million veterans. We are the biggest, largest veterans organization. We have 2.5 million members of our American Legion family. And I want to start by thanking you for your leadership on this issue. This issue is extremely important to the American Legion, and I want to thank you on behalf of the veterans who are going to benefit from potentially the research regarding this issue. Also want to thank you for your VA Secretary, Secretary Collins, and his work on difficult veterans issues with us this past year. The VA has worked with us on our Be the One mission, which is a mission to fight the epidemic of veteran suicide. Veterans are disproportionately affected by conditions such as PTSD, TBI, depression, and chronic pain. And with this reclassification, it will allow research to be conducted.
Folks, just chill out. He's gonna sign it.
Cannabis. There is anecdotal evidence that cannabis benefits these conditions, and now we'll have an opportunity to see if research does prove that it is effective. And if it is so, then it'll open up a whole new method of treatment for our veterans with regard to this particular issue. And so, again, I just want to thank you for your leadership and thank you on behalf of the American Legion for this executive order.
Thank you. Such great people
Thank you very much, Mr.
that have
President.
suffered and will suffer a lot less now.
You're right.
Based on what I hear.
Good
Anybody
afternoon.
else, please?
I'm Nora Volkov. I'm Director National Institute on Drug Abuse. And for us, the rescheduling opens the door to actually be able to accelerate the rate at which we can do research and discovery. And research is crucial in order for us to, for example, understand what may be and for whom the dangers of cannabis. Yes, cannabis can be addictive. And certainly people, adolescents and children may be the most vulnerable. But we cannot close our eyes to research and the opportunity that we are hearing from patients that for some of them, cannabis can solve their problem. And so what we need to do
Someone
is
should
do
tell them that
research, number
alcohol
one, to
is
understand
pretty
what are
addictive
those
as well.
solutions. Number two, in order to be able to optimally learn how to use it, and to understand, number three, who is a danger. And it is knowledge that will allow us to optimally take the benefits that may be behind cannabis, as research shows, but on the other hand, also enable us better to do prevention interventions to protect those that are most vulnerable. So thanks very much.
Great
Agreed.
job.
Enjoy
Thank
the
you
moment,
very much.
folks.
Thank you, Doctor. Bobby, do you have something to say?
I'll just echo thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your leadership and vision and finally getting to closure on this issue. This is a question, a scientific question, that has divided our country for many, many years. And there are valid claims on both sides. On one side, patients and physicians attest that cannabinoids and THC can have miraculous effects on chronic pain, on epilepsy, on PTSD, on chemotherapy-induced nausea. My friend Howard Kessler, without whom we wouldn't be here today, drove this change in the schedule, and he did it because of his own experience in mitigating the impacts of chemotherapy. He has nothing to gain from this. He just saw something that worked for him, that worked for thousands of other Americans, and he wants to make it available to them. On the other side, there are valid claims about the negative impacts, about addiction, about psychosis, about adverse public health impacts, and impacts particularly on young people. So we haven't been, the evidence on all of these is anecdotal and it's hypothetical because we have not been able to do scientific studies. There is no standardized dosing. And if you don't have standardized dosing, any study that you do is comparing apples to pears. And we don't know the difference between botanicals and synthetics, and all of these questions we're now going to be able to answer. 5 administrations have promised to act on this issue. The Biden administration promised to do this, and the proposal began during the Biden administration. It got mired down in the chaos and inertia and disorganization of that. And I want to thank President Trump, who made the promise during the 2024 election that he was going to come in and solve this issue, that he was going to take decisive action, and he has kept that promise today. And so thank you, for President Trump, for your vision. And because of that, we will have answers very soon. This will finally allow us to study this issue and to answer these questions for the American people.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Just information, Howard Kessler, a friend of mine, one of the most successful people in the country, came to see me on more than one occasion, actually, and he had some real difficulty about 3.5, 4 years ago, and he went through hell. And during his going through hell, he probably sampled everything you can sample when you're going through that, Howard. Sure. And he came to me, he said, there's been nothing like this, and we're going to have to take a good, strong look at it, and that's what he asked me to do. And others have likewise said that, many others. I mean, you know, again, it's I've never been inundated by so many people as I have about this particular reclassification. And I don't know that you have anything to say, Howard. If you'd like, you could say whatever you
I
like.
just want to help the people 65 and over and make a difference in their lives. And we have machines and talent that could do it, not in 8-year clinical trials, but in a year. And we're going to prove that may change the world, really, in healthcare. So thank you, Mr. President.
And I'm far younger than 65, so this does not pertain to me. Thank you. I don't want it, okay? I'm not going to be taking it, but a lot of people do want it. A lot of people need it, and thank you, Howard, for really opening a lot of eyes. Okay, we'll sign it. We'll take some questions from the press. You can ask the doctor some questions, and it's an honor to do this.
Woohoo!
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Now we got the CBDs. Screw the golf claps. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Any questions, please?
Mr. President,
Yes.
a health-related question on your health care plan. You've said you want to
Mr.
make
President,
direct
do
payments
you have a
to
joint
Americans, but
handy?
Obamacare subsidies are expiring now in a matter of just a few days. More than 20 million Americans are now bracing for their premiums to skyrocket. Are you going
Because
to let
of
this
Obama.
happen, or
Yeah,
will you
because-
intervene?
Yeah, they will skyrocket because it was never any good. I'd like to see the money that is going to the insurance companies by the hundreds of billions of dollars. You know, their stocks are up 1,400%, 1,800%, and 1,624%. Their stocks are up through the roof over a fairly short period of time because they're getting vast amounts of money. I want that money to go to the people directly and let the people buy their own health care. And they'll get much better health care than they get with the Unaffordable Care Act, as it's known by a lot of people. It is virtually unaffordable for people. It's a bad thing. We can have a great thing. Let the money go directly to the people and let them buy their own health care.
But this is an urgent problem, Mr. President. Is there anything you can do now, Mr. President?
Can I answer, Mr.
This
President?
is going to be right now, as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead.
We just got data today. We have federal exchanges where people come shopping for the ACA. And the president hasn't heard this yet, but we've talked to the team. The percentage change from last year was down 2.7 to 2.8%. Not the massive numbers that have been predicted. And there's many possible reasons for this, but right now Americans are signing up for these programs despite all the things that have been going on. 2.8% is a tiny fraction of what many had claimed would happen, and I think it speaks to the fact the American people appreciate these ACA plans are already subsidized over 80%. So it's a good deal, even if you don't get the extra 15, 20%.
It's a great solution to much better health care at a much lower cost. Yeah, please.
But do you want Congress to extend these ACA subsidies?
Well, I'd like not to be able to do it. I'd like to get right into this, and I'd ask Oz this question in particular, but I'd like to see us get right into this. I don't know why we have to extend. This could be done rapidly if the Democrats would come along. We have a problem. The insurance companies own the Democrat Party. They own it. And the Democrats having a hard time. They give a lot of money to the Democrats. Very little money to Republicans, by the way. A lot of money to Democrats. And they're going to have to decide, do they want to do the right thing or do they want to be beholden to the insurance companies? They're making a fortune. I want the money to go to the people. Go ahead, Oz. How would you say that?
I agree with the president. We have some ideas out there. Congress is working through some concepts. But I just want to emphasize that the ACAs are not imploding based on the data we just received from the federal marketplace.
This can go very quickly, actually. Yes, please.
Mr. President, can I ask you, clarify something for me on the Federal Reserve? How many people are you interviewing for the Fed chairman, and what did you think of Chris Waller?
I think he's great. I mean, he's been a man who's been there a long time, somebody that I was very involved with in the sense of his career, and he's a fantastic man. I met him yesterday, again.
So how many people are you looking at?
We're talking to 3 or 4. I think every one of them would be a good choice, honestly.
Michelle Bowman?
We'll be making a decision pretty quick.
Is Michelle Bowman on that list too? Are you going to interview her?
She's fantastic. She's a fantastic person.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some GOP lawmakers have written to you in recent days saying they're concerned this executive order could normalize drug use for youth. How would you respond to them?
You're talking about this particular today? Well, I think I'd let one of the doctors respond to it because they can do it a lot better than me. But I can only tell you that when you see polls of 82% of the people want this, when I have friends that are really, really sick and they've gone through, I guess you could say, unfortunately, I don't want to become too involved in it because I don't want it happening. But these are people that really know what's going on. Very smart people. This is one of the most successful people in the country and a very brilliant guy. And when they go through this horrible ordeal of cancer or other things, and they realize that this is something that makes them feel better without all of the side effects of some of the drugs where you're just totally knocked out and out of it. But I'd like to have one of the doctors maybe respond because you people do it better than anybody.
I'm happy to respond.
Yes.
I mean, and my answer is we have had cannabis scheduled for how long? And it hasn't protected neither the adolescents nor the adults. We have 20 million people in the United States with a cannabis use disorder. This is not legalizing it. It's making easier to do research so that we can use it when it is indicated and optimally.
So it's also a big part of this is research. In other words, you'll now have a much larger sample and you'll be able to see if it's as good as many people say it is. I mean, people say it is beyond good, and you'll be able to find that out now.
On housing, you talked in your address last night about housing.
Yeah.
Are you still considering a national emergency over housing?
I'm looking at it.
What would that look like? What would that look like?
You know, there's two thoughts on housing. You have a lot of people have housing that because we have such a strong time and such a strong market, their houses are very valuable. It's a big part of their net worth, their house. I don't want to knock those numbers down because I want them to continue to have a big value for their house. At the same time, I want to make it possible for young people out there and other people to buy housing. In a way, they're at conflict. In other words, you create a lot of housing all of a sudden, and it drives the housing prices down. So I want to take care of the people that have houses that have a value to their house that they never thought possible, that have sort of made them wealthy and happy, and especially in their later years. Got to be careful with that. I want to keep them up. At the same time, I want to make it possible for people to go buy houses.
Daniel, please. Mr. President, you announced the Warriors dividend last night in your primetime speech. Very patriotic, very generous. What was the rationale and the thought process? How did you come up with the idea? What made you want to give back to
Well,
our troops?
1776 was easy to come up with because we're actually at 1775. The number was 1775, and I said, wow. I think we can afford one more dollar. But they came up to me, it was $1,775. So I said, well, let's add a dollar to it. I think we can find that. And very simple. We've had a military that, in my opinion, by other presidents, was not treated well. They're incredible. They're our finest people. They're protecting us. And because of tariffs, we're taking in billions and billions of dollars more than we ever have before, with no inflation, by the way, with no inflation. You saw the inflation numbers. They just came out today. What great timing. Practically no inflation. And yet we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And this is small potatoes by comparison, but it's a way of taking care of our warriors, our soldiers.
Fun fact, property prices are going up in areas where MJ's legalized.
It was an easy one.
She just posted on X, your press secretary, that the board members of the Kennedy Center voted unanimously to rename it the Trump Kennedy Center. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I was honored by it. The board is a very distinguished board, most distinguished people in the country. And I was surprised by it, and I was honored by it. We're saving the building. We saved the building. The building was in such bad shape, both physically, financially, and every other way, and now it's very solid, very strong. We have something going on television, I guess on the 23rd December. I think it's going to get very big ratings, and the Kennedy Center is really back strongly. It's in very bad shape, very, very bad shape physically. And we're also to get Congress to put up a lot of money and other people to put up a lot of money. We had a lot of donors come in for record-setting numbers, so we saved the Kennedy Center. And I was really, this was brought up by one of the very distinguished board members, and they voted on it, and there's a lot of board members, and they voted unanimously, so I was very honored by it. Thank you.
Mr. President, will you be seeking any authorization from Congress for any land attacks on cartels in Venezuela?
For anyone?
For any land attacks on drug cartels in Venezuela?
I wouldn't mind telling them, but it's not a big deal. I don't have to tell them. It's been proven. But I wouldn't mind at all. I just hope they wouldn't leak it. You have people leak it. They are politicians, and they leak like a sieve. But I'd have no problem doing that.
On that, Mr. President.
Yes, please.
Mr. President, there's a meeting this weekend on Ukraine in Florida. What are you hoping will come out of that meeting?
Well, they're getting close to something, but I hope Ukraine moves quickly. I hope Ukraine moves quickly because Russia's there. And, every time they take too much time, then Russia changes their mind. 27,000 soldiers were killed last month. Think of that. What do you think of that, doctors? 27,000. It's like a half a football stadium were killed in 1 month. And it's that way. It's anywhere between 20 and 30,000, mostly soldiers, also some people from Kiev and other places, but largely it's the soldiers. They're losing their lives. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's the worst since World War II. And, you've heard me say I settled 8 wars, some going on for 35 years, one going on for 37, one going on for 32. And 8 wars, and I thought this would be an easier one. This is because of the animosity, the hatred. It's a little bit more difficult than we thought, but there's a chance we can get this done maybe soon.
Sir,
remember that 25 to 30,000 people being killed a month, young people being killed a month. Steve, please.
When do you expect to make your announcement about the new Fed chair, sir? Before the end of the year? What do you think?
Over the next couple of weeks. I mean, I don't know before the end of the year, but pretty soon.
And then the Rocky Mount, North Carolina tomorrow night. Tell us what your message is going to be there, sir.
Say what?
When you go to Rocky Mount, North Carolina tomorrow night, what's your message going to be there?
Well, it's not going to be that much different from what I did last night. I mean, we've had tremendous success. We're bringing prices down. We inherited a mess. And part of what we inherited was the worst inflation in 48 years. I say history, but we had the worst inflation. It drove prices up. And now we're bringing those prices down. But I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about the fact that we secured the border where literally nobody can come into our country illegally anymore. They came in from prisons and mental institutions and drug dealers and, a lot of bad people from all over the world. Venezuela emptied their prisons into our country. We had Tren de Aragua, which supposedly, the doctors don't know this, it's the meanest gang of them all. Okay, doctor? You don't have to know about it. You got other problems. But they let a lot of bad people in here. And so I think I'll be talking about that. I think I'll be talking about the tremendous success we have by sending the National Guard into various cities. D.C. is the ultimate example. People walk to work and they thank me all the time. People in the White House, they just walk to the White House from 10 blocks away. Before I came into office, they couldn't do that. They were getting badly hurt in many cases and beyond hurt, killed. So we were losing people. We were losing, on average, a person a week. Can you believe it? More. And now we haven't lost anybody in a long time. I consider the 2 people that got so badly hurt, the National Guard, that's a different city. That was terrorism. And probably terrorism, maybe terrorism, because they were unhappy with the tremendous success we've had, because they don't want to see this country be successful. But Washington, D.C. now is a safe, beautiful city where the restaurants are booming, the town is booming. People walk to the restaurants with their wife or their children and have a good time. We were losing all the restaurants. We were losing our life in this. We were just the whole heritage of Washington, D.C. was down the drain, and we brought it back. And now everybody's thrilled to be here. It's the hottest. It's a part of the hottest country anywhere in the world. We become, in 10 months, the hottest country anywhere in the world. And I say it all the time. We're a dead country 1.5 years ago.
Do you expect to meet Prime Minister Netanyahu while you're down in Palm Beach?
Yeah, he would like to see me. We haven't set it up formally, but he'd like to see me. We've had great success. Peace in the Middle East, aside from everything else. We now have peace in the Middle East. Yeah, he'll probably come to see me in Florida.
The Egyptians as well? Are they coming
I'd love to have him. El Sisi, he's a friend of mine. Yeah, I'd love to have him. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. President Trump answering questions from reporters after signing an executive order to reclassify marijuana. We're going to just step away for a brief moment. More live coverage to come. Stay with us.
All right, there we have it. Yeah, so pretty much exactly what we expected. So sell the news event whenever everything's been pumped for a whole week now. Most people were just in disbelief, right? But all of the traders and people in the short term are getting positioned. And then all of the long-term people are usually disbelievers. They're like, oh, I'll believe it when it happens, right? I saw other YouTubers like, I'm not even going to make any content until they reschedule it. I need to see pen to paper first. And then, just people are jaded. And you got the traders coming in. And then once they found out that the information was leaked, it's like, okay, well, now's the time to get out, because that's typically when they sell the news. But if they would have mentioned something about banking or uplisting in there, that would have potentially turned the table around. But this is why it doesn't really pay to be, worried in the moment. Like, unless you were opening a trade, and you should have a stop loss anyway, so it shouldn't even matter. Who cares? We were down 32% ahead of the announcement on CDC, and now we're up 36, almost 37. So does it really pay to be on one emotional side versus the other, right? Like, oh my God, we're down 30%. Well, again, this is the first step. We're not even starting the first inning in the ball game, folks. We're still pre-game warm-ups. We barely even just made it out of the dugout here. So again, this isn't the end-all be-all. This is the first step. You heard everything there. There was doctors, right? It wouldn't be it obviously has medical. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's so asinine that 40 states have legalized it medically, but yet, oh no, there can't be any value in that from a medicinal point of view, right? It just doesn't make any sense. But you can hear the writing is on the wall. It's been on the wall for a while now. Like I said, it's like the biggest projector, the biggest wall we've ever seen. And so many people said they were in disbelief, but doesn't mean that we are going to continue going to the moon forever, right? There's going to be pullbacks along the way. Nothing goes in a straight line up forever or down forever. But yeah, CGC closer to the high of the day than the low of the day now. That's how quickly things can change. So this is why it's important to have a plan, folks. Have a plan. And you usually, and I this happens all the time in the Power Group community. People are asking me, and that's not advice or anything like that. They're just asking me honestly what I would do if I were in their shoes. And you have to have a plan before you enter the trade, right? Or investment, whatever it is. If you're buying a stock, if you're buying a crypto, whatever it is, have a plan. Even a house, if you're buying a house, what's your plan? Are you going to sell it in 5 years, 10 years? What if the market explodes, like in PEI during C19, the housing market over doubled in like 5 years, right? So am I a long-term hold? Right? Most people don't even think of real estate as a long-term hold or a short-term hold. It's always a long-term hold. But for me, in 5 years, my house over doubled in price. You think I'm going to stay and live in that house? Hell no. I'm selling that. I'm going to rent, and then I'm going to move to other places. I moved to Edmonton where you can buy a condo for less than a Tesla, right? So I'm going to look to do it again. And actually, one of my condos, I'm going to be selling for over double what I bought for a couple years ago, right? So it doesn't mean that there's real estate is probably the worst investment now because it's just too long term, in my opinion. It's probably going to fizzle out. There's probably going to be a big correction. Right now, MJ's got to be the best investment, and altcoins. I think altcoins are the best right now, and then it'll be crypto. But yeah, AI, that's kind of basically finished in my opinion. Could we see a blow off top? Yeah. But I think it's going to enter a bear market, and then I'll be a big buyer of AI and whatnot into the bear market. But I do think that MJ is probably going to be the best place to park your cash. Even Michael Burry said that it's not going to be good for most sectors other than healthcare. And if you look at what sectors didn't participate in the everything bubble, it's it's basically MJ, psilocybin, your biotech company, so that would fall under healthcare. So yeah, I do think that we're going to see MJ go on to be one of the best performing sectors over the coming years. And again, it's going to take like a couple of months probably for this to officially get enacted. There could be lawsuits. We'll see what happens. I doubt it. It's going to have any impact on anything. And then it's going to take a while. So let's say, for example, let's just say today it was enacted and 280E goes away, etc. Well, by the time companies start reporting their earnings, it's going to take a few quarters, right? It's going to take a quarter or two at least before we start to see that on the bottom line, right? So, and again, it's not even 100% official yet. Like I said, he's just instructing them to expedite the process to move it to Schedule 3. So there's going to be, your red tape that you have to go through, but it could be a month, could be 2 months, and then there could be some lawsuits, so we'll see what happens. Again, we have to get away from this instant gratification. Everything's going to the moon today, tomorrow. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, folks. Look at Tesla. I remember investing in Tesla. I was telling everybody and their dog, oh, Tesla's the best buy, right? You got to buy Tesla back here in 2018. And it, there was this time where it dropped 56, almost 60%. I felt like, oh, was I wrong about Tesla? Even here it dropped quite a few times, 54%. Here it crashed another 35%, right? But nobody wanted to own it here, right? And it was a brutal bear market, not really bear market. It was more of just sideways. But essentially we went sideways for 5 years, right? From 2014 to 2019. And then out of nowhere, but even from then, even from the low in 2019, we didn't hit an all-time high until 2 years later, right? So you're at 6 years, and that's for a company that's selling legal products, okay? So now we're talking about companies that are selling illegal products, right? And people say to me all the time, oh, how are you comparing this to Tesla? It's so absurd. It's like, no, it's even worse, okay? So when they're selling products that are legal and it takes that long for price appreciation and real price discovery to hit and parabolic action, well, what do you think about the company selling illegal products? Probably going to take longer. So we can just take a look at some of our names like TLRY, right? It's been absolutely decimated. But again, Amazon, doesn't matter. Everybody says, oh, you can't compare the 95% drop to MJ. Well, why can't I? They were selling legal products and we're selling illegal products. So by that logic, MJ should be down more than 95%, and it is. Most names are down 99%, and that's because they're selling illegal products, right? Not legal products. So you would think that companies that have legal products that are following a legal framework in their business model, that they would fall less, right? And even Amazon, in a legal model, selling products that were legal, books, folks, they still dropped 95%. Okay, so it's not uncommon. I mean, for crying out loud, NFLX, Netflix, in 2021, in 6 months, the stock dropped almost 80%, right? And that's Netflix, like one of the biggest companies on earth. So it can happen, and it's not always rosy, peachy, sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be a process, right? And looking at some of these charts, we still have, some big bullish continuation patterns. We still have monthly uptrends to confirm as well. So TLRY needs to get over 2320 to confirm a monthly uptrend. MSOS actually, I believe, already confirmed the monthly uptrend. Yes, we did. So we had the low, high, higher low, and higher high. But I mean, look at that chart. That's pretty damn similar to TLRY, right? It looks the same. You have the low, high of the bounce in the monthly. You have a higher low, and now we just need to confirm it with a break of a higher high. But again, how many names are in monthly uptrends? VFF confirmed a monthly uptrend in bull flag. Cron confirmed a monthly uptrend. MSOS confirmed a monthly uptrend. So that increases the odds for names that haven't done so, that they will more than likely do so. So when in doubt, zoom out, right? We need to get away from this looking at, the minute chart or the 5-minute chart or the hourly or even the daily chart, right? Not the sector moves together, not down to the day, the minute, the second. When in doubt, zoom out and look at these monthly charts. They look pretty damn similar, except like VFF is just an absolute rocket ship. But it already had its monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. So essentially, we're right here on TLRY, right? We're right in this area here before the cross happened, and we're trying to get above EMA 26. That's where TLRY is. We're trying to get above EMA 26, which we failed to do, and we're close to seeing that bull cross of those EMAs. So if we do, that's probably going to put us somewhere around $50, right? Which is only $5 because we just did a 1-for-10 reverse split. And even some of the most sought after names in the space. High Tide did a 1 for 15 reverse split. Most people don't know that. Aurora did a 1 for 12, and then if that wasn't bad enough, they did a 1 for 10, and CGC already did a 1 for 10, and it's working on potentially a second one, but now it might not have to. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, OGI did a reverse split as well, and that's because they're all listed on US major exchanges. Doesn't mean that they're bad companies. Actually, holy crap, that one did 1 for 1. What the hell? But anyways, you get my point. So, you know, a lot of these companies in the US, they will uplist to the NYSE and the NASDAQ, to US senior exchanges, but they're going to face some of the same problems as well, right? So overall, we're looking good. I mentioned don't go sleeping on OGI, just confirmed a monthly uptrend as well. We have our low, high, higher low, and higher high. I mentioned this one a few days ago. And yeah, if you got it here on this earnings dip, it's up 50% from the low of 3 days ago. So I mentioned don't go sleeping on that one. SNDL is another one to keep your eye on. I think this one's going to absolutely explode soon. So on the monthly time frame, look, we're still forming this month. Every chart very, very, very similar, right? So, all right. I don't even I can't even look at the chat today, folks. We were at almost 1,000 people at one point. We're sitting at just over 500. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get into the chat today. I gotta get going. I got some things to do, but we'll just take a look here now. At the moment, we got PLTH, MSOX, and CL leading the decline today, and on the bull list, you got AYR, CWBHF, and NEVI. But yeah, some names in the green once again. And if we take a look at the daily time frame, like I said, we're basically just in the middle of today's range. But like I said, if we would have got something about banking, there would have been something about uplisting. I think that could have gave us the momentum to keep going. But then eventually, you know, you're going to pull back, right? You're not going to go in a straight line forever. You can't go hundreds of percent, right? Over 125% without some pullbacks. And as of right now, TLRY still a bull flag target, targeting about 18 bucks. So it's looking good. MSOS, like I said, daily bull flag as well, and we held the 0.382 fib to perfection, and you're looking at a move up to around just under $11. Cura, or Cureleaf, we'll look at CRLF actually, because I think most people look at that one. But on the weekly time frame, this thing's a massive weekly bull flag. Look, we had to hold 195, we hit 180, but then we closed the candle above it, so it was a huge bear trap. And then we confirmed it, and the measured move was 987, and look, we just hit 505, so we are roughly about 95% away. Could easily see another 100-200% move. And keep in mind, folks, rescheduling is just the beginning, right? Many companies, many investors, venture capitalists, etc., are going to start to enter this space as we destigmatize, right? And as we move along the CSA and then fully ultimately remove from the CSA. So I've said this all the time. I've said it I don't know how many times on the channel. Kevin O'Leary said he wanted to invest in an MJ company, and I think it was in Vermont. And he said it had great ROI and potential. And his lawyer told him, "Are you effing crazy? It's on Schedule 1 with heroin." And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." Can't be doing that. So again, these companies, these investors, they have fiduciary duties, and some of them have shareholders to adhere to. So they can't just go willy-nilly investing in, you know, something that's classified as bad as heroin, right? That would look pretty bad. And like I said, they have fiduciary duties and responsibilities. So at the end of the day, like I said, this is a great step in the right direction. I don't know how many people told me that this wasn't even going to happen at all. There wasn't going to be any rescheduling announcement or executive order. That was going to be an executive order for something else, right? People are just so jaded. And it's like, how could you be jaded? Or sorry, how could you be confused or think that that's not going to be... I can understand the jaded part, but literally every single news media outlet talking about it for like the last week. And because there was no mentioning of anything else other than we were already privy to, that's why it ended up being a sell the news, in my opinion, because they were screaming for the rooftops for the last week or so, filling us full of this hype, and then we got exactly what was leaked and nothing else. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, it's kind of funny that they're saying it's all speculation. And it was exactly correct. Pretty funny. But yeah, as I said, it says closed press, but it still ended up being, or sorry, right here, it says closed press, but it still ended up being live. So I don't know why. I guess that just means like closed to physical press coming in. It's only like probably the people that they allow in. So I guess like an open press would be like, oh, like press companies can actually enter the meeting room. But yeah, just because it says closed prefs doesn't mean it's not going to be a live stream, and that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what we got. And then, for whatever reason, it was on other channels first before it was on the White House. I remember looking at we were watching the Fox one, and yeah, I refreshed this, and then it was live here, and I was like, oh, well, how the hell is that possible? How is it live on other channels before the actual White House? But yeah, it was on there, and now I just refreshed, and now it says we'll be live again shortly. So can't even go back to watch the first. I don't know how much of the first. I think we only maybe missed like a minute or two, so we can go back and check it. But yeah, this is exactly what we got, and we are just getting started, folks. This is the tipping point to massive reform. We're just like basically the horses are just out the gate, right? So here's where the real fun begins. All right, so going in it there. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the members in the chat as well, and really appreciate all of the support. I know there's some less than awesome human beings in the world, and they made their way into this chat, but I would say 99.9% of you are fantastic human beings, and karma will be on your side. Those people that are just absolute despicable humans, well, we all know that karma will be coming for them in one way or another. So it is what it is, but love that 99.9% of you are awesome people, and yeah, like I said, the world wouldn't go around without the a-holes. So keeps things interesting, right? And good for a laugh. All right, thanks everybody. It's Rod with the Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and it really is a monumental, pivotal time in this industry where, you know, the biggest country in the world, many countries look to the U.S. for direction, and they also don't want to get left behind, right? So this is a huge step in the right direction, and just the first of many great things to come. All right, have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you again on the next video.